Okay, so we're starting 1-5. We'll do the first part today. We'll finish our second part tomorrow. So today we're going over specifically how to measure and construct angles. Okay, so on your first page in your notes with 1-5, an angle is formed by two non-collinear rays. What does collinear mean?
The same line.
Same line, right? So we have two different lines that form an angle, or two different rays form an angle. They have a common endpoint. What would this common endpoint be called here?
B.
I mean, yes, it is point B, but what's a single point called? We talked about it the other day. Vertex. Good. Okay, so their common endpoint is their vertex. For these two rays, they form an angle here. Okay, so we just talked about, Austin, what do we name our vertex?
B.
B. Okay, and then we have two sides of our angle. How would I name the two sides of the angles?
AC.
I disagree with that.
No, it's a ray.
True, so how would I name this ray? BA. Ray has to be going to the right. What's my other ray?
BC.
BC. Okay. Jordy, are you all with me? We are? Because I haven't done anything with a calculator today, sir. Okay, we should probably get our notes out and make sure you're staying with me and not getting behind further than we're already at. Are you with me? Yes, you. Okay. All right. Here's the thing that is going to be new to us is how to name the angle. Anybody want to take a guess on how I could name this angle? Okay, sure, it is an acute angle, but we're going to talk specifically like how do I name it? Like how would you know what this angle is? Angle 3, I can live with that. So an angle symbol, angle 3 would be one way. Anyone else want to take another guess?
Angle ABC.
Angle ABC would also work. There's one more way. Actually, there's two more ways. Angle CBA. There's one last way.
I just said it, cap.
Nope. Somebody whispered it. I thought. It's close to the... we can't do BAC because if we said BAC, it would look something like this. Okay? So, here's one thing we have to talk about. The reason these two work is because what is located in the middle? B, which is our vertex, right? So that's why those two work. The last one would be a single point, which we could call angle B. That's what I thought too. Now, this only works on this type of problem, right? Down here, I cannot use angle D. Can anyone explain why it doesn't work down here? Yes, because point D, right, could be this whole angle. It could be ADB, it could be BDC. So it only works when there's one angle only, not two together. All right, makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, remember, these two things are the vertex. Has to go in the middle. Okay, all right, next part, adjacent angles. What would adjacent mean? If these two are adjacent, what would that mean? Next to each other. Two things that are adjacent are next to each other. Okay? And they would have a what type of side?
Acute.
What's it called if they both have this same side?
Equal?
They're both using it. They're kind to each other. They share it. Could be that too. Okay? They have a shared side.
I have to share with my sister sometimes, but I don't like it.
Well, doesn't mean you always like it, but sometimes you have to do it, you know? Okay? All right. Macy, on that top angle, can you tell me what my vertex would be on the top angle? Point. No, not for my vertex. Has to be a single point. D does work for the vertex. It just won't work for naming the angle. Okay? Aixa, Can you name one of the sides of that top angle? DA. Symphony, what about the other one? DB. Okay. Turner, give me one way to name the top angle.
ADB.
Joss, what about another way?
Angle 1.
Angle 1. Ava, what's the last way?
Angle B. DA.
Perfect. BDA. Okay. All right. Kyler, what about the vertex of the bottom angle?
Vertex D.
Also point D. So notice these two angles have the same vertex, right? They can share the same vertex. We just can't say both of them are angle D only. Okay. Angel, what about one of my sides on the bottom angle?
DC.
DC is one of them. Rowdy, what's the other one?
DB.
Good. Okay. All right. Who can name any of my three angles? Felipe?
All three.
Sure.
Angle 2, angle BBC, and angle CDB.
Good. Very good. Okay. Now, notice we named the top angle, we named the bottom angle. It's also possible for us to name the whole entire angle. Okay? So,
Oh my.
what would be the vertex of the whole angle?
D.
Still D. What would be the sides of the whole angle?
DC and DA.
Say it again, Turner.
DC and DA.
DC and DA. Ray DC, Ray DA. Because now we're kind of just ignoring this middle ray, okay? And then how would I name this whole entire angle? There's only two ways on this one.
ADC, CDA.
ADC and CDA. Ooh. No. It's not too bad. Again, I really feel like this stuff isn't too bad for us because it's kind of just looking and naming the parts. We just have to remember how to name them, and then I think we're okay. Yes? Okay. All right, let's talk about measurement of angles.
What's the shared side?
Did I miss something? Oh, yep, I did. What is my shared side?
DB.
DB. Ray DB. Thank you, Joss. I'm telling you, I'm on the struggle bus today. Okay, when we measure angles, angles are measured in degree, correct? Okay, acute angles we know are less than 90. What about right angles? They equal 90. Okay, and then let's go ahead on the back page. I'm going to flip over, and I'll come back to this, okay? But since we're talking about this, what about obtuse angles?
Greater than 90.
More than 90. Okay, and then a straight angle or a straight line is equal to 180. Okay, now it's important that we know these things because we're going to use this stuff a lot this year. Okay, we're going to talk about how to add angles together, how to solve, like if I have an angle that looks like this, how can I find this angle if I know what this one is? We're going to do a lot of those things this year, which we're talking more about that tomorrow, okay? But just so we know, okay? Here we go. First one, back to acute, okay? We're going to name this QRS. Okay, and we're going to say it's 29 degrees.
I know what to do.
You don't even know what I've asked you for.
You want to know what's
Just don't get ahead of yourself.
Okay, all we're going to do is tell what the measure of this angle is, and I'm just going to show you how to write it. Okay, we're going to say the measure of angle QRS, notice I use capital points because those are points on these lines, is equal to 29 degrees. What does this M stand for?
Measure.
Measure of the angle. Okay? Now, if this one next to it was called angle 1, how could I write the measure or tell what the measure of the angle is?
Measure of angle 1 equals 90.
Easy enough. Yes?
Boom, shakalaka.
Okay? Somebody else who can tell me the measure of this angle here? Jordy? What's the measure of this angle that I just gave? Okay, so how would I write that out? Measure of angle what? Not 1. What's it labeled? Measure of angle A. Okay, and why is it okay on this one to only put one variable here? Because it only has one angle. Okay? All right, last one. We're going to call LMN. Who can name this one for me? Symphony? Good. Okay. All right. Not too bad today. Okay. Tomorrow we'll talk about how to use angle addition postulate to find missing